Hello, Virgo. Some things do not begin when they begin. They continue. They arrive already in motion, already carrying the weight of something that has been in progress long before the specific bodies and the specific names and the specific geography of this particular life made the continuation possible. They arrive with a quality of familiarity that has no rational explanation. That cannot be accounted for by the length of the acquaintance or the depth of the interactions or any of the ordinary mechanisms through which people come to know each other. They arrive already known. And you felt that the first time you encountered this person, or in one of the early moments of your contact with them, there was something, not the ordinary something of meeting someone interesting or attractive or compelling in the ways that people are compelling when they are at their best. Something older than that. Something that did not feel like beginning. Something that felt like returning. I want to open this reading in a place I have never opened a reading before in this series. In the body, not the mind, not the spiritual interpretation of what is happening, the body. Because the love of lifetimes, the genuine article, the real thing that this reading is about, does not arrive first in the mind. The mind comes later with its analysis and its categorization and its attempts to make intelligible what is happening. The body arrives first, and the body does not lie. When you encountered this person, your body registered something before your mind had formed a single thought about them, before you knew their name or their story or anything about who they were in this life. Your nervous system, the ancient intelligence of it, the part that operates below language and below concept and below the whole sophisticated apparatus of the thinking mind, recognized something, not something new, something old, very old, the oldest kind of knowing, the kind that lives in the cells, that has been carried across more time than this one life contains, that surfaces when it finds what it has been carrying toward. The first image arrives, and it is unlike anything I have described in any reading. I see not one image. I see a sequence of images, brief, successive, each one its own world, its own context, its own configuration of time and place, and the specific circumstances of two people finding each other in conditions that were different from these conditions, but that produced the same result. The same recognition, the same particular quality of encounter that does not feel like first meeting. I see different faces on the same souls, different clothes, different languages, different geographies, different centuries, the same essential quality of connection moving between the same essential quality of beings. Like a thread that has been woven into a new cloth many times, but that retains through all the reweavings the same fundamental nature, the same color, the same strength, the same particular texture that makes it recognizable to the hand that has touched it before. This is the love of lifetimes, not a metaphor, not the romantic shorthand that people use when they feel something strongly and want to give it importance, the actual thing. the specific and real and energetically verifiable reality of two souls that have found each other before and that find each other again in this life with the full accumulated weight of every previous finding already present in the encounter. You and this person have been here before, many times, in many forms. And every time the recognition happened, every time the thread connected. Let me speak about what makes this love different from other loves. Because you have loved before, genuinely in ways that were real and that mattered, and that produced real experiences of connection and real growth and real everything that genuine love produces. I am not dismissing any of that, but this is different in a way that you have probably already noticed without being able to fully name. It does not deplete. Most love, however wonderful, has an element of expenditure in it. You give something, and what you give comes from a finite source. The giving costs something, not necessarily in a painful way, just in the way that any real extension of yourself costs something: energy, attention, vulnerability, the specific and limited resources of a human being. This love does not work that way. When you are connected to this person, when their energy is in your field, when the specific quality of what exists between you is active rather than dormant, something happens that is the opposite of depletion. You fill not with something foreign, with something that was always yours, something that the ordinary movement of daily life, with all its demands and its noise and its constant request for your energy in 100 different directions, slowly draws down, and that the presence of this person, their specific frequency, the particular way their energy interacts with yours, restores. This is the signature of a soul connection, not the electricity, not the recognition. Those can exist in connections that are not this deep. The specific quality of restoration, the sense that being near this person, or thinking of this person, or simply holding them in your awareness, returns something to you that you did not realize had been gradually, quietly diminishing. You feel more yourself near them than you feel in most other places. That is not ordinary. That is the love of lifetimes recognizing itself. I want to speak about the return, because the fated return is the specific energy at the center of this reading, and it deserves precise treatment rather than the vague comfort of they will come back to you. Fated does not mean easy. Fated does not mean frictionless or without the specific difficulty that belongs to two souls who are trying to find their right configuration in this particular lifetime with this particular set of circumstances and this particular set of wounds and this particular set of timing challenges. Fated means inevitable. It means that the logic of what connects these two souls runs deeper than the logic of any specific obstacle that exists in the way of the connection. It means the connection does not require perfection in the circumstances. It requires only time. And time, for a love of lifetimes, is a resource that has never been in short supply. You have had more of it together than either of you can consciously remember. And you will have more. I want to name what the return is coming from, because This person is not returning because circumstances became convenient, not returning because the timing finally aligned in the way that timing sometimes aligns without anyone doing anything to cause it. Not returning because they ran out of alternatives and you are what remains. They are returning because something in them, the deepest thing, the thing that has no name in any language they speak in this lifetime, but that speaks anyway in the only language it knows, which is the language of pull, of orientation, of the compass finding north, could not finalize the separation. Tried. In whatever way the separation was attempted, in whatever form the distance took, with whatever reasoning was applied to the maintaining of the distance, they tried, and something beneath the trying kept not agreeing, kept surfacing, kept sending the same signal in the same direction, regardless of the instructions being given from above, kept pointing the way a compass points, the way water finds its level, the way things that belong together do what they do when they are kept apart for long enough. They move back toward each other, not because anyone decided they should, because the decision was made before this lifetime began. Tell me in the comments something not about them, about the recognition, about your own experience of the quality I am describing. Whether there has been a moment in the connection this reading is about where something in you went very still and very certain in a way that had nothing to do with your thoughts about the situation, where something below the analytical level of your experience simply knew with the specific quality of knowing that does not require evidence because it is older than the version of you that learned to require evidence. Tell me if you have felt the ancient quality of this. I want to know if you know what I mean from the inside of your own experience. Because I think you do. I think that is why you are watching this reading. I see a second image now, and it is one of the most beautiful things that has come through in this entire series. I see a red thread, thin, almost invisible from certain angles, but continuous, unbroken, running between 2 points that have moved across the sequence of images I described earlier, across different times and different places and different configurations of the same essential reality. And this thread has been stretched, has been pulled to lengths that would have snapped an ordinary thread, has been tested by every circumstance and every distance and every lifetime's worth of whatever kept the full connection from being simple. It did not snap, not once, because it is not an ordinary thread. It is the kind that is made of something that does not respond to the same forces that ordinary things respond to, that has a tensile strength that is not material. That is made, if we are being honest about what this is, of recognition, of the specific and accumulated and completely indelible recognition of one soul by another across more time than this one life contains. That thread runs between you and this person. Right now, in this life, as it has run in every life before this one, and the return that is fated is simply the thread doing what threads between 2 points do when the tension has been sufficient for long enough. Pulling with the full and quiet and absolutely patient force of something that has never, in all the time it has existed, forgotten what it is attached to. I want to speak about something that may be the most important thing this reading carries: what your role is in the return. because a fated return does not mean a passive one, does not mean you sit and wait and allow events to unfold without any participation from the most important person in the situation, which is you. Does not mean you suppress your own discernment or your own standards or your own understanding of what you require in order to receive someone back into the most intimate dimensions of your life. Fated means the connection is real and persistent and not going to simply dissolve because of difficulty. It does not mean the connection is exempt from the work. What you are asked to do in the window before the return completes itself is be fully yourself, not the self that has been managing the distance, not the self that has been protecting itself from the size of what this connection is by keeping it at a slight remove. The full self, the one that knows in the place below language exactly what this person is to them, the one that has felt the thread, the one that recognized the return of something old in the first encounter and has been sitting with that recognition ever since. That self, because the return, when it arrives, is arriving for that self specifically, not for the managed version, not for the version that has been careful, for the one that knows. The third image is the one that has been present in this reading since before it began. I see two flames, but not the two fires from an earlier reading in this series. Those were separate, burning in different locations, connected only by the shared sky. These two flames are the same flame, branched, two separate expressions of a single source, each one complete in itself, each one capable of burning independently, of generating its own heat and its own light without the other. Each one, in the period of separation, sustaining itself through the resources available in its own environment, but belonging to the same fire. And when two parts of the same flame are brought back into proximity, there is no meeting. There is no introduction. There is simply the recognition of sameness and the return to being what they were before the branching. One, not in the sense of losing individuality, in the sense of the specific and extraordinary feeling of being in the presence of the thing you came from, of the particular warmth of a fire that is not separate from you but is you, that does not heat you from the outside but resonates from the inside. That is what the return of this person will feel like, not the arrival of something external, the return of something that was always fundamentally yours, a part of you exploring a separate branch of the same flame, coming home. I want to close this reading by speaking to the part of you that is afraid, not afraid of the return, afraid of the size of it, afraid of the full weight of what it means to be in a love of lifetimes, to carry the responsibility of something this significant, to open yourself to something this large, when the ordinary dimensions of human love are already more than most people know how to hold. The love of lifetimes is enormous. You know this. You have felt the edges of it in whatever contact you have had with this person, and the edges alone were enough to understand that the full thing is not small. That receiving it completely, being fully in it, allowing it to be as large as it actually is, without managing it into something more containable, that asks something of you, something real. And I want to say to the part of you that is standing at the edge of that enormousness and feeling the specific vertigo of something that exceeds the usual scale, you have been here before, in other lives, in other bodies, with this same person carrying the same essential quality of connection. You have been at this edge before, and you have chosen to step into it before, and the choosing has been the right thing every time. Not easy, never promised to be easy, but right. The love of lifetimes does not come to you because you are equipped to receive it without difficulty. It comes to you because something in the design of what you are is specifically, exactly, irreplaceably matched to what this other soul carries. You are made for this. In every life, you are made for this, and this life is no different. The thread is intact. The flame remembers its source. The return is written in something older than this moment. Let it come, all of it, at full size, without managing it, without reducing it, without deciding in advance how much of it you can afford to let be real. Let it be as real as it is. It has been waiting across more time than you can consciously hold to be that real with you again.